Hello, everyone. Welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I've been evicted from my podcast boudoir. I'm tethering this off my phone. I'm out of breath after running up 2 flights of stairs. I'm tethering this off my phone and don't have any Wi-Fi here. Storm damage has gotten even worse since Friday, or since Thursday night. So still have no internet service. Power is limited. And phone service is limited. I've actually had to go and buy a load of new SIM cards just to try and tether to get this working. So please bear with me. You can understand I had a few drinks last night. It's been stressful last 96 hours or whatever it is. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Just making sure that I can be heard, because I can't hear you, Paddy.
That's because I haven't said anything.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
All, but let me see. That could be an issue on my end.
Can everybody else hear me? Oh, good. Yes, everyone can hear us.
There we go. I've got you now. Sorry. Yeah. Excellent. Sorry, guys.
Great.
Been a mad one. As I said, I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I think they can hear you okay. You keep plugging away there and I'll try and get the theme up here.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, so team is out. As I say, look, it's been a wild couple of last days with no water, no power, no nothing. Trying to cook stuff on a wood burning stove in my sitting room. I feel like it's one step up from Bear Grylls at the moment. But so bear with us. We're trying to get these podcasts out as best as we can. The show must go on, as they say. But the team is out. And I'm just going to pop it up on screen here. Hopefully this doesn't crash everything. I have it here. Yeah, I do. Here we go. So should be able to share this on screen. Perfect. So we have Martinez, Cash, Konza, Mings, Dina, Ramsey, Kamara, Tielemans, Bailey, Rogers, and Watkins. On the bench, we have Robin Olsen, Alizic, Bogard, Garcia, Matson, McGinn, and Buendia, who's just signed a new 1-year deal, and John Duran. And so we're no closer, Paddy, to knowing who Unai Emery was saying was a bold boy, and not a great teammate over the last couple of days, because I don't think we're missing many people, if any people, from that list. Yeah. What do you make of the team, Paddy? No surprises?
No surprises. Is Gauchi the ball boy? Where's Gauchi gone? He's gone on the bench. Everybody seems to be there that we'd expect to be there. Yeah. John McGinn is obviously back in. Garcia's on the bench. Nedeljkovic is missing off the team sheet, obviously. Look, we'll have to. I don't think Unai Emery's the kind of fella who will tell us what he thinks on a daily basis. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of or who leaves. Maybe he'll tell us a bit more.
This is brilliant. I love that we've got a Leon Bailey impersonator in the comments. I absolutely love it. I'm here for it. Thanks for joining.
What did it say?
It's somebody having a laugh at us, because probably after my tear about Leon Bailey and saying that he was late for training last night. I'd imagine somebody's having a crack. It's great. So look, it's there's going to be a lot of sleuths and investigators and online investigators over the next few days trying to figure out who he was talking about. But that team there, look, there's no real surprise with that team today. The back four is what it is. We still don't have any defensive reinforcements on the bench. I suppose if centre half goes down, and God forbid that does happen, I hope it doesn't, Lamar Bogard, I would imagine, would be someone who would come on. Maybe Kamara steps into defence there, or maybe Bogard comes in as that centre half. Good to see the new guy on the bench. Andres Garcia is there.
Yeah.
I think he has to be there by default anyway, because we've got so many injuries and people out at the moment. But obviously, Captain Fantastic John McGinn on the bench if needed today, and somebody that I'm delighted is back in the fold. Paddy, are you? I suppose, are you surprised to see John Duran is on the bench and not starting today?
I am a little bit. I expected it to be today that he gave Ollie maybe a little bit of a break ahead of Wednesday. Depends what he sees, what's important. We've already qualified, as we discussed previously, so I think it's a question of get through today, get 3 points, and get 3 points without any injuries. That's what I want to see today, and I wouldn't mind seeing John McGinn back on the pitch at some stage.
Yeah, I think we might see him today. I think we might see McGinn get a couple of minutes. Like he's, I hope he's resting him and keeping him fully fit for Celtic during the week, because I think he's going to be needed there because we do need reinforcements in midfield as well. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one today. I think this West Ham team are on the up and up under Potter. I know we've beaten them already, but they definitely are on the up and up under him. And as I said before, I think he's a really, really good manager. And we're going to need to have our thinking caps on here today to try and break that down. Although they are missing a couple of players in defence, Mavropanos won't be there, which might be a blessing to some of them. Some people think that, some West Ham fans I spoke to seem to think that that's a good thing that he's not going to be playing today. So yeah, were you going to say something there, Paddy?
No, can you call up that West Ham team, or do you need me to do anything here?
I'm going to try and bring it up here. Yeah, apologies about our lack of tech because of, as I say, it's there we go. We should have it there. So West Ham United, so Areola and goals, Soufal, Wan-Bissaka, Kilman and Cresswell, Emerson, Alvarez, Souček, Soler, Paqueta and Kudos. So like they're decimated with injuries up top. It's just strange that Ings isn't starting, but he's not. And they're gone with that false nine, I suppose, really playing Kudos up front. Backline, the back four there, Paddy, I suppose, is the big talking point. Wan-Bissaka is going to play in centre half, it looks like. The man of the match against us in the FA Cup, Ollie Scarles is on the bench, and then it looks like they've gone with Wan-Bissaka and Kilman as the two centre halves, with Cresswell and Soufal as the two fullbacks. What do you make of it, Paddy?
Yeah, I would have thought for height alone you pay Soufal at centre half, and maybe that's how they will line up. We won't know until it kicks off, obviously, but they seem to have put it in order of how they will play, judging by that. Yeah, I think the bigger question is up front, and I think Kudos is there instead of Ings, just simply to run around and absolutely make a menace of himself and put everybody under pressure in that as they venture into the middle third, and I think that's what they're going to get out of him. Paqueta is the one we need to watch out for. What we saw in the FA Cup game, we need to watch out for his diving, his cheating, and we need to watch out for him because he could punish you obviously with the ball as well. So hopefully he thinks he's going to get away with less today with VAR in operation, and hopefully the referee, whoever that is, I can't remember, it doesn't really matter, will cop onto him very early. And you'd have to think that they watch him back. These guys are full-time professionals now. They'd have to watch him back and see what he's up to. But Kudos will, you would imagine, do all the donkey work and eventually will run out of steam, and they'll bring somebody else in to do the work.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Paddy. Maybe they're going with a back five. Emerson, Soufal, two wing backs, Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Cresswell. Probably makes a small bit more sense than putting Wan-Bissaka in straight in centre half. Play them either side of Kilman.
They did it in the game just before they changed managers. So it's possible, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. That would make sense. So you're looking at Soufal, Wan-Bissaka and Kilman, the way they've lined it up in their team sheet there with Cresswell and Emerson either side. Yeah, that's you could be dead right there.
I actually had more look at it. I think that is the case with Alvarez and Souček probably hunkered down in midfield, and Soler, Paqueta playing behind Kudos. Yeah, it's just going to be very fluid up there. I think probably the three guys there, Alvarez, Souček, Soler, with Paqueta and Kudos interchanging, I suppose, really between that the 9 and the 10 role there. I think for sure. Who's at Villa Park and can give a weather report? I think it's teaming down. I think Andy Hilly was messaging just before we came on, and he mentioned that it was teaming down around Villa Park. So looks like it's going to be a wet and windy one there at Villa Park today.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. There's Andy Hilly is saying it there again. So
it's lashing down, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one today. It's going to be a tough one for the fans and for the And for the players, a filthy day in Brum, as Paul McAllister just said there in the comments. Hopefully it's not a filthy day on Wednesday, Neil, when we're mind you, it doesn't really matter because we've only got to walk from one pub to the Red Brick Palace, as Michael Huggins calls it. And we'll we won't have too much worrying about the weather because we'll be covered afterwards.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah. No, look, we'll get this game out of the way first. Don't overlook West Ham. I think, Paddy, looking at the table, Spurs were losing 2-1 at the start of this podcast. I don't know what the score is there at the moment. Newcastle lost yesterday. Chelsea lost. So we need to win to stay in contention here now. Bournemouth are absolutely surging at the moment. Forest were beaten as well yesterday. Newcastle won. I think I said that they lost. Newcastle won. Forest was who I meant lost yesterday. And Bournemouth are surging. So for us to win today, we actually don't get out of the position that we're in on the table, but it keeps us within 1 point of third place. And results kind more or less went our way yesterday. And we need to capitalize on it today. And we haven't done that usually, Paddy. And it's a game after. It's a game after a Champions League game, where we're not brilliant at those either. So, this, even though we talked about injuries, they don't have any recognized striker. They've only got one recognized centre half in the team here at West Ham. Nothing can be taken too lightly. We're not good after Champions League games, and we're certainly not good at capitalizing on other teams' mistakes. No. So that's what we need. This game needs to get good today. We need to get a win today. It has to be 3 points. If we don't win 3 points today, we don't open up that buffer on Brighton. It becomes a 5-point buffer on Brighton behind us. And I know it's only the 26th of January, but start winning the next 3 games I think we have are pretty doable. And looking at teams that are playing each other and around us, they're going to drop points as well, and this is where we need to capitalize over the next 3 games. Salvo, I think
we need to look after our own game. We saw Nottingham Forest get absolutely spanked yesterday. We're 10 points ahead of Manchester United. As things stand, we're 12 ahead of Spurs. And obviously there's people in between there that you need to worry about, the likes of Fulham, Brentford, Brighton, who have had decent seasons. But we can't move up any places today, but we'll obviously go 1 point behind Chelsea and Bournemouth and 2 behind Newcastle with a win. That has to be the ultimate focus. Get the win by any means necessary. I really don't care if this is a 1-0 hitting John McGinn's arse in the 97th minute. 1-0 is just as good. Although I would prefer a good spanking today. I'm optimistic about the game, and I think we're going to win by more than 1 goal for the first time in a while. So I do expect us to win the game, and if we have to win it ugly, I'm okay with it, because once we're winning and keep winning ugly, I'm okay.
And you never know, you might still get that spanking later on tonight. Who knows, Paddy? You can always live in hope. But we'll get the game out of the way first anyway, that's for sure. A bit of smut for your Sunday afternoon. What, and the Lord's Day, bringing up that dirty talk. Jesus, what am I like? Look, we could sit here, I think we could talk about this team and about this game, I think, all day long, because the permutations are vast, really, but winning the game is paramount. I'm going to make a prediction. I think Aston Villa are going to win this game 1-0 today. I don't think it's going to be inspiring. I think it's going to be a 1-0 win. I think it's going to be a trudge of a game. And I think we're going to score from a corner. Why? Because I just feel like thinking we're going to score from a corner. What do you think, Paddy? Are you going to be as optimistic as me going for a win?
Well, in order to score for a corner, our corners will have to clear the first bloody man for the first time in what feels like 10 weeks. So I don't have any optimism of a scoring from a corner. So no, if we're going to continue belting the ball into the man on the near post who isn't there, we're not going to score from a corner. But we are going to score, and we're going to score more than 1, and we're going to win this game 2-0. Clean sheet. Malin off the bench is going to add the second one to Ollie Watkins first, and I'll be happy with that.
Great. Yeah, look, I'll take that as well. Guys, try and start popping in your scores in there. I'm actually delighted that this has kind of gone off without hitch today, because I'm running off potato powered internet at the moment, and I don't so far, and I don't know how long I'll be able to run this. So this will be a bit more of a truncated team sheet tantrum. I do apologize. We're trying to get them out as best we can. We will have a post match afterwards as well. And guys, at 7:30 tonight, I'll be talking to the guys in the James Alcott podcast on Twitter Spaces. So join us there. I think Justin from Up to Villa is going to be there as well. I know there was a tweet went out. I haven't even been able to check Twitter in the main today for the last couple of days. I've just been able to. I've had to drive like 25 minutes to get phone reception usually, but I went away and bought a load of new SIM cards today to see which one I could tether off best. And this is where we are now. So yeah, so join us for that as well later on tonight. You'll probably see it all over social media. It'll be interesting. We'll be doing a debrief of this game there, but we will obviously have our post-match podcast first prior to that. And we will have a new face on our post-match podcast as well. Somebody's going to be joining us, a special guest. Some of you may know him on Twitter, and some of you may know him from being in around Villa Park. But Jay White is going to jump on afterwards and join us for our post-match podcast. So jump in for that, and hopefully we'll be discussing an Aston Villa win. The scores are coming in thick and fast here. Sean Green says a 0-0 incoming. Shane Coleman's going for a 3-0 win. 4-0 says Greg O'Connor. Tom is going for 2-0 Villa. 3-1 says Carlo Weather. Carlo Weather doing the Lord's work over the last couple of days as well. Actually a bit starstruck having Carlo Weather in here. He's everybody's favorite Twitter account in Ireland. Moment. Thank you very much for all your great updates, Carlo. I'm back. I think I'm back. The Bladnator 6-6. Andy Hilly's going for 2-0. Michael Huggins going 2-0 as well. Dave Lacey's going 2-0. Count Olaf is going for 3-1. Where else are we? Osdrum is going for 2-1. Darren C is going for 3-1. 4-1 is Patrick Svensson is saying. Paul is going for 5-1. Leo Waters is going for 2-0. Ollie is going for 2-1 Villa. Max Hunter is going 3-1. Malin to come off the bench. Junior saying 2-0. Paul Miller is saying 2-1 Villa, 3-1 if Malin and Duran come on. 2-0 Villa says David Dwyer. 3-1 with a Watkins hat-trick would be great. Kahua is going 3-14 to 9 points, a comprehensive victory. Flange is going with 2-1. Watkins hat-trick 5-1. Oh yeah, Paul mentioned that previously. Anne is going for 2-1. Mr. Pong is going for 2-0. 4-0 says Jake. 3-1 says Sai. Sewer Sounds is going for 2-1 as well. 5-3 says Richard Parks. John Kinsella is going for 2-1. Where are we? Boring 2-1 says Bolg. 2-0 says Elizabeth. Jeffrey is going for 2-1 to West Ham, and Watkins missing a few sitters. 2-0 Villa says Dusty. Again 2-1 says Ollie. Dan Downey's going for 2-1. 2-0 says Andrew. 3-1 Villa says Bob, and 2-1 says Black Country Villain. 6-1 Paul. Paul, you're going up. Watkins quadruple. This time it was only a hat-trick a minute ago. 1-0 with a Bings header says Just Right, and Fuzz the Duck says 5-1. Damien is going for what's happening here? Damien is going for 4-1. Paul S is now going for 7-1. 3-0 says PD. 5-0 says Adam. 3-0 says Cat Cannon. Steve is going for 3-1, and Jimmy Lassant will finish it off with 2-1 to Aston Villa. Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, guys, for popping in your score predictions there. Please popping out thumbs up on this as well. If you're signed in, you might as well just click on a thumbs up. Helps us out in the algorithm too. I'm going to leave it at that because my internet reception is really, really rocky at the moment, and we might as well quit while we're ahead. As I say, we will be back with a post-match podcast later on, and we will also be back with a and I will also be joining James Alcott's podcast as well after this at 7:30 later on tonight. So join in and tune in for that as well. Paddy, have you anything to say before we leave?
No, all covered. Get yourself nice and comfortable, and hope everybody that's not at the game is nice and warm and has internet coverage or what power in order to see the game today. So fingers crossed for a decent win and a nice relaxing week heading into a big week in the Champions League.
And Andy's asking me to stay sober for 2 hours. I'll try my best, Andy. I'll try my best. I don't think the body can take much of it today anyway. Last night was hectic, as you guys saw on the stream last night. By the way, actually, that stream last night, you'll notice, is no longer on YouTube. I got another copyright strike for something that went on in last night's show. I can't for the life of me figure it out. It's up on Twitter if you guys want to see it. It's there. You can see a very disheveled Neil talking absolute nonsense by the end of the podcast. More nonsense than normal. So have a watch of that if you do come across it. Right, I'm going to go. If you dare, yeah. Paddy gets about 4 words in as well somewhere during it. But
I'll get drunk some night and I'll get you back. Don't worry.
Exactly. Right, lads, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks very much for your time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the